Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Alright, this lesson is going to be about, or entitled, Let Go of, Put Off Now the Weak Nature. Alright, because, I caught myself, down in the spirit, and, I had to remind myself of this precept, and it's one of my favorites, because it's like one of those toughen up buttercup scriptures. All right, because sometimes you get down, you might get discouraged a little bit in the faith, but or a righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets back up. All right, you might go off, or you might forget a few precepts, but then you got to get back into it. You got to remind yourself of these scriptures. So without further ado, I just when I thought of this scripture, more came to mind, and I caught myself, and got out of that little slump that was going through my spirit. But this is Second Ezra, chapter 14, and I'll start at 13. It says, "Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption." It says, "Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of men, put off now the weak nature." All right, and those mortal thoughts can be something like, oh, uh, fucking, how are these bills gonna be paid? Cast away the burdens of men. Everyday struggles. All right, everybody goes through them. All right. So put off that weak nature, right? Because we're given the spirit of toughness, um, but this flesh is weak. Matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. This is Matthew 26 and 41, and this was when Yahushua gathered his disciples to pray for him before he was going to be taken away to be crucified. I'll start at 40. It says, "And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What, can ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." So watch and pray. You got to have that spirit of discernment on you. Examine thyself daily. Another great precept. Matter of fact, I'll try to pull that up. Yeah, this is wait, let's get the chapter. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. It says, "Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahushua is in you, except ye be reprobate? But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates." You got to examine yourself like I did. I caught myself. Was down in the spirit, and I took a cold shower. I was like, I'm tired of being in this slump. Took a cold shower. That's a little quick way to afflict your flesh, man. It shocks all those weak carnal thoughts out of your system. You know, Taking that cold shower makes you realize like, oh shit, I'm cold, and then you fight off those mortal thoughts, man. Same thing, but fasting is one of the best things you can do to afflict your soul, and because when you go 24 hours without food and water, you realize that food and water isn't that necessary. You start meditating on precepts, you know, and you start realizing that food and water or hot water to shower in isn't what keeps you alive. You realize that it's the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that keeps you going, right? And keeping in the spirit is what's gonna keep us alive when judgment comes, all right? So then it goes on to say, "Now I pray you to the Most High that ye do no evil, not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest, though we be as reprobates." Um, but yeah, that is pretty much the point. Right here it says, "Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves." So you gotta stay on that carnal side. You gotta filter all those thoughts that come into your head and be like, hey, is this what I want to be focusing on? In these times. Going back to um, Second Ezra's, it says, "Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of men." Don't focus on that. Let's see. I know I'm jumping around a lot, but precept upon precept. Think not on the morrow. I don't know if it's exactly like that. This is Matthew 6:34. "Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." All right, and that's basically what Yahweh Shai was saying. In this chapter, I might want to start up a bit. Yeah, it's really a good chapter to read. But he's basically roughly paraphrasing this chapter. I'd recommend. I'll read it. Um, I don't know where I want to start. I'll start at 30. It says, "Wherefore, if the Most High so clothe the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith?" Because during the fall and winter time, the grass turns brown and dies off, but come spring and summertime, it's green as hell. And he says, "But aren't Israel, or the ones that can receive this word in this day and time, the elect and the 1/3, are you not more than grass?" He's gonna take care of you. All right, that's why you got to remind yourself, man, this shit don't matter. This shit is temporary. All right, just toughen up, get through it. Live to fight another day, man. If you get down in the spirit, these scriptures are the true comforter. All right, because these scriptures tell you how to be a man. These scriptures are what strengthen us to endure hard times. All right, that's another good precept. Adversity tries good men. Yeah, Ecclesiastes, or the book of, also known as the Book of Sirach. I think I had this. Yeah, I already had this. It's just I might as well pull up the whole chapter because this is a good chapter. Sirach 2, verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." And it don't matter what you do in this life, man. You're gonna go through some hardships. It don't matter if you want to be a UFC fighter, if you want to make it to the NFL, MLB, if you want to grind the 9 to 5, you're gonna have bad days. All right, so how much more when you come to serve the Lord? All right, you better prepare your soul for temptation. It says, "Set thy heart aright, which is your mind, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble." So set your mind aright, constantly endure. Know beforehand that you're gonna have tough days. All right, and make no haste in time of trouble. It says, "Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate." So whatever hell you going through, whatever you're going through, take it cheerfully. All right, because I'm about to read verse 5. It says, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." So whatever hell you're going through, embrace it, because you know that's a trying of your faith. What's gonna make you an acceptable man, all right, unto the Most High, is because throughout all the hardships you proved yourself worthy, uh, um, because you held on to the faith. All right, when when let's go back to 2nd Ezra 14 and 15. It says, "And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter." Alright, so, whatever little shit that you're worried about, you got to practice, you know, countering those thoughts with these scriptures. Alright, because that's our practice for, when the hour of temptation comes. All right, and that hour of temptation is when you're gonna have a choice whether to take the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, whether it be in your hand or your forehead. All right, and you're either gonna take the chip or you're gonna hold on to the faith. You're gonna have faith in Yahweh Shai. All right, that's gonna redeem you. All right, if you die a martyr, the scriptures say that. Um, I'll grab that real quick. Um, die in Mashiach will rise first. Yeah, this is 1 Thessalonians 4 and 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, Salakia, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. So even if you die a martyr for, not taking the mark of the beast, you're going to be, right with Yahushua when he cracks some clouds on the chariots, you know? So, hey, whatever, carnal thoughts you're going through, all the weak nature, the flesh, it's weak, man. But, hey, none of it should make you want to give up the faith. Hey, and another good example is Job, because Job caught hell. All right, he caught more hell, one of the most hell in the scriptures, all right, of righteous men. This is Job 38. I'll start at 1. It says, "Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind, and said, Who is that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me." So he told Job to gird up his loins, man. Which, girding up your loins was like, a custom with, their garments that they would do to, if you're chillax stage, you let your garment hang. But if you're about to get in some manual labor or go into war, you would tie it up around, in between your legs, so that way you had more mobility. All right, so that's so basically when you had to do some manly work or go to war, girding up your loins would roughly translate today in today's phrases would mean roughly the same thing as like man up or nut up nut up or shut up or toughen up buttercup, like take it like a man, some or something like that, you know but yeah, and Job went through it, man. But yeah, you just gotta constantly filter out those thoughts. This is Job 17 and 9. The heart is deceitful above all things. That word heart, Hebrew word for a heart is la'ab, which can mean mind too. So your mind is deceitful above all things. You get these emotional thoughts. You might wanna lay in bed all day and be lazy, or you might wanna have urges to just stuff your face because you're stressing out, or turn to alcohol because you're stressing out, or just want to give into all these different leisure activities, because all these chemicals in your head, such as dopamine. You got these different chemical imbalances in your body will make you want to urge to do other stuff. It says, your heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? All right. It says, I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. So, this mind is deceitful and, desperately wicked. Like I said, you want to, you just, you got Jake out here looking for get rich quick schemes, looking how to make passive income, but Jake don't know making passive income is a huge upfront cost. Passive income doesn't become profitable income until years and years down the road, you know. But they just want to look for that easy way out. And, in order to do that in this society, you have to sell your soul, man. You have to give up your morals to obtain, filthy riches. All right? Let's grab that real quick. Actually, no, I don't want to grab that. I was thinking of another scripture earlier. Oh, yeah. Verse 10, it says, I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. That's why King David said in the Psalms, I believe it was a psalm, he said, Lord, yeah, this is Psalm 139, verse 23. It says, search me, O Yahweh, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. See, he's telling the Lord to try him. And how does the Lord try your heart? All right, he puts you through certain trials, temptations, It says, and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. So that, if, this is a good prayer to pray, Whenever you're going through something, you pray to the Lord, man. It's like, hey, Yahweh Shah, I'm conflicted right now. Set me on the, straight and narrow. If I, I don't want to be caught on the, on the path to wickedness. I want to be on that path to the kingdom everlasting. And the Most High will, that's why I think it's 2 Peter where it says, whatsoever is righteous. I think they're roughly paraphrasing. Yeah, Philippians, not 2 Peter. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things, So, I mean, if it's not about prophecy, biblical prophecy, if it's not about, you thinking about the kingdom, you're thinking about the judgment that's going to be coming on the heathens, if you're not looking at the news and filtering it through the scriptures, if you're not on your watchtower, if you're not praying, if you're not trying to study Hebrew, then you're having vain thoughts. Yeah, I want to show you something. I saw this. One second. I'm bringing out the whiteboard, but I saw this graph, the other day, and it was about forming habits, right? Let's see. And it looked like this. It was time, right? You got this graph. All right, so distance going this way represents time, right? And then you had two parabolas, and that's just a fancy word for a line that looks like a ramp. Let's see. Let's do a dotted line. And then let's do a solid line. Alright, so you got these two lines, right? So over time, this line gets smaller and this line gets bigger. So what do these different lines represent? Well, this dotted line represents, let's see, memory, right? And this solid line represents, what does it represent? It represents results. Let's see if you can see that. I got a glare from mine. Yeah, I got shitty handwriting. But anyways, so over time, you know, whatever you practice, your memory of practicing it will fade away, right? And then over time, you'll start seeing results. Like, let's say, for example, when you go to the gym, um, you know, I say 3 weeks to a month, depending on your abilities, depending on how long you've been to the gym last time. You know, those first few days are gonna suck because you know how bad it sucks. But over time, once you get closer to this point, you know, you develop a habit, all right, and it gets easier to go to the gym. You don't really have to think about it as much. That's why the memory fades. But then when you start getting over here, that's when you start seeing results, and they increase exponentially. Both do, because you know you're not giving into those bad habits like not going to the gym, eating unhealthily, but you know the results are exponential. And I wanted for you to see this because the same thing applies when you're studying scriptures. All right, you know when you first came into the truth, you're like, dang, I don't know any precepts. You know, so you start writing them down. You start, you know, forming habits. You start watching brothers like every week, every day. You know, writing down precepts, reading every day. You know, so on and so forth. And then over time, it's muscle memory to call these scriptures out. You know, and then you see results, and you get brushed up in precepts, but also in the spirit, man, because the scriptures also say that knowledge puffeth up. So you might, so this is more of a habit forming, but you want to create righteous habits, you know. You want to get in the habit of rebuking, you know, wicked thoughts, you know that. But I just wanted to share that graph to, hey, make battling demons a habit, man. Make praying a habit. Make fasting a habit, you know. But yeah, putting off, you know, carnal thoughts. Make that a habit, man. Eating healthy too, because hey, mental healthness goes hand in hand with physical health. All right. You know, if you're eating shit, you're gonna feel like shit, and you're gonna think shitty thoughts. If you eat great, if you work out great, you're gonna feel great. You're gonna look great. You know, hey, exponential growth. You know, when you start forming good habits, you see exponential results. But yeah, I just, you know, want to put that out there. Hope, Lord willing, this video is edifying. You know, till next time. Once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Shalom.